Hi, Angela Bridgman here, also known as Transgender Tarheel. That's right, I live in North Carolina. Lovely, right? Well, I'm making this video, kind of inspired to make this video because of some other videos that I've seen out there on YouTube, mostly from transgender teenagers, millennials who are currently transitioning, and specifically Chloe comes to mind for me, and I'm here to tell you it does get better. It really does. And I'm here to tell you that you've got so many advantages that I only wish that I had, that I could only dream of having. You're transitioning in your teenage years. I didn't get to transition until I was 25. You see, when I was your age, transition just wasn't even possible, right? I was born about 30 years too late. So unlike me, you are going to be spared the ravages of a male puberty that I didn't want. My voice deepened. I grew facial hair. I had to go through expensive and extensive electrolysis to get rid of it. And the voice that I have right now, it's all mental. I mean, the hormones didn't help raise my voice one little bit. You're not going to have the voice deepening in the first place. You have so many advantages. I tell you, I would love to be where you're at, you know? It was a lot tougher when I transitioned 20 years ago than it is today. Acceptance is a lot more than it used to be, and I expect that over the next 20 years it's going to get even better. Just in time for me to kick the bucket, right? Oh well, I'm not complaining, you know? It's been tough, it's been hard, suffered a lot of job loss over the years, but these days I am a successful business owner. My clients all know that I'm transgender and they don't care, and things are actually pretty good. They always were that way. I personally survived 2 suicide attempts, but I'm here to tell you it does get a lot better. I know that it may be hard for you to believe that right now, but it's gotten a lot better for me in 20 years, and it's going to get better for you. I was at one time denied a college education because I'm transgender. Basically, I was forced to choose between pursuing higher education and protecting my own personal safety when the dean of the college that I was going to at the time came to me and told me that I could only use male restrooms on campus. And this happened 5 days after Matthew Shepard was killed in university campus as a gay man because he was a gay man. And well, I chose to drop out and I never went back. And that kind of leads me into what's going on here right now in North Carolina with HB2. And the main reason I came out of retirement in activism for the transgender cause was because of HB2, because I realized that far too many of my sisters and brothers were going to be forced to make the same horrible choice I had to make back in 1998. Choose between pursuing higher education or protecting your own personal safety and dignity. You know? And I couldn't sit by and watch that happen. I personally have my birth certificate saying female, so HB2 doesn't really impact me directly in that I'm not denied the ability to use the restroom that is in accordance with my gender identity and, in fact, my physicality at this point, since I had the surgery when I was 31. And there's just one more advantage that y'all millennials are going to have that are transitioning right now, is you're going to be able to get your surgery a lot younger, and insurance is even paying for it in some cases now, and You know, insurance didn't pay for it when I got it done. I had to pay cash for it. Now, I got lucky because actually I had an employer that had discriminated against me for being transgender. What happened was I'd taken that job as my previous self and had told them in the interview process that I was in therapy leading up to gender transition and what it all meant. And I sat there in the interview, kept waiting for them to not hire me, but lo and behold, they hired me. And then they constantly were after me about when was I going to transition. And I told them, look, you know, when my therapist and I think it's right, that's when I'm going to do it. You know. And when that time came, I went to them and told them, you know, my therapist and I had decided it was the right time. And they said that I could transition on the job. And then when I did so, they fired me for it. Nice, right? And then some other things happened, including them trying to block my unemployment benefits, as well as giving false and misleading references about me to potential future employers. And so I finally had enough and I sued them. And I won my case. I actually acted as my own attorney. And they appealed me, and I won again, and they appealed me, and I won again. And then we settled out of court. And I can't disclose the terms of the settlement or the company involved. The terms of our settlement forbid that. But I can tell you that the company that discriminated against me for being a transsexual wound up basically giving me the kind of money I needed to get my sex reassignment surgery done. Poetic justice if there ever was any, right? I mean, maybe we could do business again sometime, folks, right? No. I don't seriously mean that, because I would rather just, you know, work and earn a living like everyone else. I don't really want to sue people. It's not what I'm about, you know. I just want to live my life without interference, which is all you guys want too, and I get that. I really do, you know. But it's tough, and it's not as tough as when I first went out there. And in the next 20 years, it's going to get even easier, and you guys are going to start out with a lot of advantages that I didn't start out with, and that I still don't have. I mean, y'all's voice, like I said, y'all's voice ain't going to deepen like mine did, right? You're not going to have the expensive electrolysis. You're not going to have to foot the entire bill for your surgery like I did, you know? So things are better for you, and they're only going to get better. But right now in North Carolina, things aren't so good, right? We got this stupid bathroom bill. And the way they went about HB2 in North Carolina just really sucks. I'm going to be honest, it sucks. What they did in promoting this bill, in effect, they created a de facto sex offender registry. And then they placed my name and the name of every legal, law-abiding citizen of North Carolina that just happens to be transgender on that list, because in the minds of some of the public here now, we are pedophiles or predators. And I have never even thought of doing something so disgusting and vile, and I gotta tell you, I have never been more offended in my entire life than to have the assumption made about me that when I go to the bathroom to relieve my bladder, that somebody assumes I'm in there in order to commit acts that are absolutely vile and unspeakable. I don't even have words to describe what that feels like. It's incredible. And the problem also, you have to couple with the fact that we're a stand your ground state, and I am not only legally entitled but legally required to use the ladies' room. And we have here in North Carolina a state senator by the name of Andrew Brock, who is a Republican from Mocksville, North Carolina, which is in Davie County, which is near Winston-Salem. And he actually stood up on the floor of this North Carolina Senate during the special session and made physical threats against transgender people. And I don't know how you can do that, being a representative of the people of North Carolina, to make physical threats against law-abiding citizens that just happen to be transgender. Don't know how you do that. But I gotta say with HB2 that when you live in a civilized society and you pass a law that creates unintended victims, you work to repeal or amend that law. Our state legislature has seen fit to do neither one. So I'm forced to the conclusion that in spite of all their protestations to the contrary, that we, the transgender citizens of North Carolina, were in fact intended victims, not unintended victims, right? And my own representative, Chris Malone, was there when I testified before the North Carolina House and told them about how I'd been denied a college education back in 1998. And after Chris voted for HB2, he came to me and he told me, he said, "Angela, your words on the floor really moved me." Yeah, right. I said, "Chris, yeah, my words moved you, just not enough to change your vote, right?" He had nothing to say to that because he knew I was right. You know? And since then, I've had numerous meetings with him and with other legislators, and, you know, nobody wants to hear it in the legislature, you know? So it's in the courts, and what'll happen will happen, and we got to just keep fighting the thing. But I'll tell you this, most people who run for office, they do it because something really ticked them off. And Chris Malone ticked me off. And I'm telling you, I have every intention of filing paperwork to run for the Democratic Party nomination in 2018 for North Carolina House District 35, Wake Forest, and run against my own representative, Chris Malone. That's going to be a lot of fun, trust me, because North Carolina has never had an openly transgender member of the General Assembly, ever. Not even had a candidate who was openly trans. So this will be a lot of fun. Be on the lookout for that, right? Because it's happening. Because I've had enough. Gubernatorial candidate Wendy Davis in Texas once said, "If you don't have a seat at the table, it's probably because you're on the menu." We don't have a seat at the table currently here in North Carolina, and I personally am sick and tired of being on the menu. So I'm running. So things do get better, folks. I own my own successful business today, and I have clients that don't care that I'm transgender. I don't have a whole lot of trouble out there from most people because I'm transgender. Most people just treat me cool. You know, I mean, there are those out there that don't really see me as the woman I am, and that's bothersome, and I get that, Chloe. I really feel you on that, you know. I mentioned on one of your videos, I made a comment, and I'm going to say it here for you, Chloe, and that is the songs of Laura Jane Grace of the band Against Me. She really nailed it in her song Transgender Dysphoria Blues. She talked about what I've talked about for ages, what you talked about, Chloe. It just says, you want them to see you like they see every other girl. That's all we want to. Just want to be seen like every other girl. And a lot of people do see me that way. Some don't. Some won't. Some never will. But I gotta tell you, you can't let those people who won't see you the way you are have an effect on your own self-worth or your own self-value. Because you know what, Chloe? You are a woman. I am a woman. We always were women. No matter what our genitalia at birth said. I mean, the three most horrible words to ever strike my words in 45 years of life, I fortunately don't remember. And those three words are, it's a boy. That was the original misgendering. Am I right, folks? Huh? Horrible words to hear. Because my entire life was set on a trajectory at that point that I did not want, that was utterly alien to me. You know? I'm just going to ask those out there who are cisgender, who are not transgender, who don't understand what it is to be transgender, do this exercise with me, and this is where I'm going to end the videos after this exercise, okay? For a minute, I want you to imagine that you wake up tomorrow morning with all of your past experiences intact, all of your likes, dislikes, proclivities intact, all of your hopes and dreams and ideals and everything intact. Basically, you wake up the same person you are right now. The only difference is you wake up in the body of the other gender. Okay? I gotta tell you, I don't think you need me to tell you that that wouldn't feel very good for you. Right? You would be repulsed by your body. You would feel like an alien in your own skin, right? Well, welcome to our world, man, because that's our everyday reality. Until we get the hormones or surgeries to bring our outer appearance more in line with who we are inside at our deepest level, that's what we feel like every day. That is what we feel like. And it's not a good place to be. It just is not a good place to be. Nobody would choose this. Nobody would choose this. And all we want is to live as the people that we always have felt we are at our deepest levels. Really think about this, folks. Is there anything more fundamental to your self-identity than your gender? There really isn't. Fortunately for most people, your gender happens to match your birth genitalia. Your gender and your sex match. And that's what a cisgender person is. For those of us who are transgender, it doesn't work that way. So, just kind of live in that moment for a minute. Imagine what it might be like. And how really not good that would feel. And know that that's our everyday reality until we do what we're doing. So please, don't hate us for what we're doing. We're just trying to live our lives as we need to be. We're not out there to hurt you. We're not out there to make you uncomfortable. We're not out there to recruit your children or anything like that. We just want to be who we are. So, anyway, I'll be doing some more videos later on about some other subjects, but for now, this was kind of an intro video. My name is Angela Bridgman. I am also known as Transgender Tarheel. And Chloe, if you ever see this video, I got your back, girlfriend. I know where you're at. I know where you've been from. And know that it does get better. And never, ever, ever let anybody make you feel like you are any less than the woman you are. Because they don't know. We do know. I love you, Chloe. I love you, everybody out there. Take care.